Hey YouTube, this is Pokedad again, and I'm coming to you with a deck analysis. Today we're going to look at the Mega Rayquaza Dragon type. Now before I get into the deck analysis, I actually want you to know that this is my second time recording this deck analysis because I made a glaring error on it, and I've actually recorded 4 battle videos already with the error in it. So I want to, first of all, before I even get started, kind of clear that up and then get into the deck analysis. So on the battle videos, you'll see that I have a blacksmith, and for some reason I was thinking because Mega Rayquaza uses all this fire that we could actually blacksmith 2 fire energies onto Mega Rayquaza. However, that only works for fire Pokemon. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to take Blacksmith out, and I'll add another Mega Turbo in, and I'll explain all that in just a moment. So anyway, let's get on to the deck analysis. Alright, so Mega Rayquaza, it's a beast. It has Dragon Ascent, hits for 300, which can one-shot knock out just about anything. But the only problem is it requires 5 energy, 3 fire, 1 lightning, and a colorless. And then after you use it, you discard 2 energies attached to this Pokemon. So nothing pretty much is going to stand in our way. It's got 230 HP, which makes it a pretty big, bulky EX, and it also has Delta Wild, which is an ancient train ability which allows basically fire, water, lightning, and grass types he's resistant to. So it's a -20. So against those, that makes Mega Rayquaza like a 250 HP Pokemon. So pretty awesome. Now, for us to get charged up, though, Mega Rayquaza has to have a few comrades to help. Reshiram is the big one, and I play 4 Reshiram in this deck mainly because we have the Turbo Blaze ability. Once during your turn, before you attack, if this Pokemon is your active Pokemon, you may attach a fire energy from your hand to one of your Dragon Pokemon. So if you have a Reshiram, if you have a Rayquaza on the bench, and you have a Double Dragon energy and a fire, you can play the Double Dragon energy on Rayquaza and then Turbo Blaze the fire, which allows you to have 3 energies in one turn. And not only that, the Reshiram ability actually is cumulative. So if I have 2 or 3 Reshirams, I can switch into another one, then I can Turbo Blaze again, switch again, and Turbo Blaze. And technically, if you were able to switch into 3 Reshirams, you could actually power up Mega Rayquaza in one turn. It doesn't happen often, but it is definitely a possibility. And it's very, very likely that you'll see turn 2 Dragon Ascents quite often, just because you really can power up fast. The other thing I should mention about Reshiram is he is really our only attacker against safeguard Pokemon, but he can Turbo Blaze to himself. So if you play a Double Dragon energy, Turbo Blaze to yourself, and then bring another Reshiram up and Turbo Blaze to that Reshiram, to the first Reshiram, you can still have Reshiram ready for turn 1, and this is going to knock out Suicunes and Sigilifts in one shot. So every now and then you might need to have Reshiram powered up. And 110 is not terrible, but you do have to discard a fire energy. So it still can be a useful attacker, but it's definitely the secondary attacker in this deck. Our other comrade is, even though you can attack with him, it's really not necessary to. Matter of fact, if I have to attack with Hydreigon, then it means I either got a poor start or something has gone wrong. But the reason we use Hydreigon is for Dragon Road. If there's a stadium and card in play, the retreat cost of each of your Pokemon, Dragon Pokemon in play, is 2 less. So if we have Hydreigon in play and we have a Stadium in play, whether it's ours or our opponents, then we're able to retreat both Rayquaza, Mega Rayquaza, and Reshiram for free. And so this is really useful because there's a lot of times where we need a Turbo Blaze and then retreat Reshiram, put Mega Rayquaza up, and so Hydreigon just helps us. Now, a lot of people I see in decks play just one, but I prefer actually to play two, just so that we have a better chance of drawing into it, or making sure that if one is prized, we have another one available. And also, the ability is cumulative, so if you have two Hydreigons in place, you actually would be able to retreat for free. Hydreigon, you notice, actually has a retreat cost of 3, so if he's in play, you still have to discard 1 energy, but if you have 2 Hydreigons, then this one could retreat for free. This rarely is our starting Pokemon just because there's only 2, and we have other Pokemon that are our basics that are more likely to be our starters. We prefer Reshiram to start, but Rayquaza is okay too. Speaking of Rayquaza, let's move on to just looking at the Rayquaza EX. And now this Rayquaza has come under a lot of fire. People say it's underwhelming, but I want to just give my 2 cents, and maybe I can convince you otherwise. And I'll explain especially why it's important with the stadiums. But let's just look at the attacks. The first attack is for 2 double colorless Dragon Claw, which does 30. So if we put a double dragon energy on, we can already attack for 30 on, turn 1. Now this can be helpful against Night Marchers like Joltik, or Execute. If we run into an Executor deck, we can Dragon Claw on turn 1, knocking them out. So not the greatest attack, but it's still, there are situations where it can be helpful. Also, it can come, like Dragon Strike hits for 130, but you can't, if you hit Tails, you can't use this attack next turn. But 130 and 30 can combine sometimes to knock out some of those stage 2s that are just right in between the damage barrier. So 160 can come in handy. Now, looking at the Dragon Strike, though, it requires 4 energies. But again, we can use Double Dragon Energy, Turbo Blaze, and actually 2 Turbo Blazes, and we could have Dragon Strike ready in turn 1. Again, doesn't happen very often, but being able to Dragon Strike by turn 2 is really useful. And I'll explain why actually right now. Let's look at our stadiums. We use 2 Scorched Earths, and this allows us to discard a fire energy and then draw 2 cards, which is very useful for Mega Turbo. When we get to Mega Rayquaza, we can use those fire energies that are in the discard pile and Mega Turbo them right back onto Mega Rayquaza. So after we Dragon Ascent and discard 2 energies, or if we have energies in place because of Scorched Earth, we can just Mega Turbo onto Mega Rayquaza, and this actually gives us 2 types of energy acceleration. We have the Reshiram energy acceleration from the hand with Turbo Blaze, and we also have energy acceleration from the discard pile with Mega Turbo. And that's what makes Mega Rayquaza, I think, in my opinion, so deadly. The other stadium that I want to look at is Shrine of Memories. Now this is one I don't see played a lot for Mega Rayquaza, but I think this is one of the best stadiums you can use for Mega Rayquaza. Most people actually have been struggling to determine what stadium should I use with my dragons. I've seen Fairy Garden, which can be useful with the Double Dragon energy, giving you free retreat. I've seen Mountain Ring, which allows no hitting to your bench. But this one is the one for Mega Rayquaza that I think is the most useful. And in fact, you might even want to take something out and bump this up to 3. Shrine of Memories allows each player's evolved Pokemon can use any attack from its previous evolutions. So if we have Mega Rayquaza in play, we can only use Dragon Ascent. But if we have the Shrine of Memories in place, then we can go back and use the attacks from Rayquaza EX. Now you may ask, well, why is this important? I mean, 300 is going to kill just about anything. The problem is we run into too often where we're playing basics like a Wobbuffet, a Xerneas, a Landorus, a Mew EX. All of these have low HP. They're, between 100 and 130 HP. We don't want to have to use Dragon Ascent and just overkill them with 300. We want to use this attack mostly against EXs so we can draw 2 prizes. So with Shrine of Memories, it allows us to go back and use Dragon Strike against these smaller Pokemon that have between 100 and 130 HP and knock them out in one shot without having to lose the energy. So Shrine of Memories, I found, especially, and in one of the battles I did, I played Night March. In fact, we didn't use the Dragon Ascent one time in that battle because Shrine of Memories was in play, and I could knock everything out with just the Rayquaza attacks, but still have the advantage of having the 230 HP. So that was very, very nice. So anyway, so that's the stadiums. Let's move on and let's just look at a couple of the other Pokemon and the supporters that I have. So just for consistency, I added one Shaymin in. This deck, believe it or not, actually plays very fast, and because Lysander's trump card has been banned, we want to be careful not to go too fast. So Shaymin EX, we play just one. We don't want to fill our bench up with them. But with one, it gives us if we're looking for a certain card and we haven't found it yet, we can Ultra Ball for Shaymin and give us a greater chance to find the certain card we're looking for. So Shaymin is there for the draw power, and then of course we play one Jirachi EX for Stellar Guidance to allow us to grab a supporter card. So if we draw into a dead hand but we have an Ultra Ball, we can Ultra Ball for Jirachi and grab the Sycamore, or if we need a Lysander so we want to finish the game off, we can grab Lysander. So Jirachi's just, again, these 2 cards are just for consistency and help us out greatly. Let's look at the item cards. I've already looked at some of these. Mega Turbo, though, is going to allow us to attach an energy from our discard pile to our Mega Rayquaza. So that helps, and it can be the fire or the lightning type. We have 3 switches. Now you may be asking again, why do I have so many switches? Because we have the Dragon Road, which allows us to retreat, but I want to be able to Turbo Blaze more than once if possible. That's why I play 4 Reshiram, and so with Switch we're able to possibly do more than 1 Turbo Blaze in one turn. You throw a double Dragon Energy and a couple Turbo Blazes, and you're ready to go by turn 2, sometimes even turn 1. So we play the switches so that we can get multiple Reshiram Turbo Blazing in one turn. We play the Trainer's Mail. Again, it's just a valuable card. Helps us find like Spirit Links or an Ultra Ball or Switch. Just helps us look for cards that we need. Maybe even a supporter if we don't have one. And normally when we look at those top 4 cards, we usually have more than one choice. So it will help us to, usually gives us a variety of what we can get. Very helpful. Ultra Ball is just to get, again, for consistency, if we need a Rayquaza or a Mega Rayquaza or Hydreigon, whatever we need, whatever piece of the puzzle we don't have, we can get. Or if we need to grab Shaymin or Jirachi, the 4 Ultra Balls help us get exactly the Pokemon that we need. We play 3 Rayquaza Spirit Links, just makes sense. I play a 4-3 line so that I play 4 Rayquazas so we can get them on the bench early, so we can go ahead and begin Turbo Blazing right away. I just play 3 of the Megas because really you're really not going to get, if you can get 2 charged up in one game, you're doing really well, and the chances of getting 3 are just really, really unlikely, though it is possible. And usually you won't need 3. I mean, sometimes with just 1 you can go through 3 EXs and game over, you know. Wait, we play the 3 VS Seekers just to get our supporters back. We play 4 Sycamores. It's just everybody plays Sycamore except for those that are using Shaymins as their primary draw. Discard your hand and draw 7 cards. Play 2 in, so each player shuffles his or her hand into his deck, and then each player draws a card for each of his remaining prize cards. We play 1 Colress. Because Shaymin and Skyfield are a thing, Colress can net us, you know, well over 10 cards now in many cases. And then Lysander, and I would really like to put 3 in here, but 2 with 3 VS Seekers seems to be enough. When we have the Dragon Ascent ready, we want to make sure that we're hitting something big like an EX, and we don't want to waste it on a 1 prize Pokemon. So Lysander helps us get the 2 prize Pokemons and knock them out quickly. As far as our energy, we play 7 fire, which we can Turbo Blaze or with Reshiram. I play 2 electric, and I'll explain that in a minute, and then 4 of the Double Dragon, which are basically like 2 double rainbow. You can use them as anything you want. It's invaluable. It's really what's made dragon types actually have a shot to be competitive. And then we play the 2 electric or lightning type for just in case we run into Aegislash EX. If we have Double Dragon on there, we won't be able to attack. So Aegislash, so the lightning energy gives us an opportunity to attack Aegislash. It takes a little bit longer to charge up, but still, if we do an energy drop, 2 Reshirams, Turbo Blaze, a Mega Turbo, and then an energy drop the next turn, we're already charged up. So it's not as hard as you think, even though Double Dragon does make it even easier. So anyway, guys, that's the deck. In the battle videos that I have, I've already recorded them, and again, you'll see the blacksmith in there. It actually didn't come into play any time until the 4th battle, which when I tried to use it, I realized it was only works for fire types. So that 4th battle video, you'll notice my goof up. And in some of the other videos, I have the opportunity to grab it, but I just don't need it. So anyway, there's the Mega Rayquaza Dragon deck analysis. Hit like if you would, subscribe if you haven't already, and hey, give me your comments. Tell me what you think of this deck. I actually think this deck is going to be more competitive than most people are giving it credit for. And when you watch some of my battle videos, which will be in the description below, you'll see this thing can hit fast. Anyway, guys, hope you have a great day, and I will talk to you later.